The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Not mute. There we go. Oh, I love technology. Hi, everyone. I'll start over again. I'm John Jerkovich with Viking Cruise Line, and I want to welcome you to our presentation today regarding European river cruising. And just a little bit about me. I'm waiting for a couple more people to pop into our presentation. I've been in the cruise industry for about 31 years, and I started out, my family had a travel agency, and I listened to my mom. She said, go work for a cruise line. So I did. And it's just kind of worked really well, except for this past year. It's been kind of a difficult year in the cruise industry, but I really do enjoy working for Viking. They've done a great job of looking to the future and keeping me busy. And we have hopefully some cruising that will resume here in 2021. You're probably looking at my background, wondering what's going on. I decided it was going to be a good idea to sell my home. I live in the Pacific Northwest and specifically Portland, and I decided it was time to sell my house, and it sold in 4 days, and I had to vacate. My new house isn't available till March 1st. So I'm living in a beautiful beach or lake cabin in a very remote part of Washington. So you can look at my background here. Absolutely gorgeous, but I'd rather be in my own home right now. It's just kind of in limbo at the moment. So looks like everybody's joined us. So I just wanted to again say thank you. We're going to talk about specific Viking itineraries. We're going to talk about what maybe might help you determine going on one itinerary over the other. Some of you may have cruised before on Viking or another cruise line, and you might just kind of wonder what there is to do next. We're going to talk specifically about European cruises. I might mention some other destinations that we're going to as well. But I think you don't need to look at me for 35 minutes. So I try to keep it around a half hour here. I'm going to go off camera, and we're going to start talking about specifically our startup, and then we'll go into the itineraries. Oh, and I forgot to warn you that I do have two dogs, and they've been really well behaved today, but they might be seeking dinner soon. It's 5 o'clock my time, so if you hear anybody around me, you'll know exactly who they are. So I appreciate you uh, understanding. So I'm going to turn off the camera here, and let's talk about our startup at the moment because it's a topic of mind for everybody, and we actually have a goal of starting up on April 1st. I know that's April Fool's Day. It's kind of funny that we chose that date, but it is a date that we'd actually like to start up operations. And we've done a lot in preparation the past 10 months to gear us up. Probably one of the most notable things that we've done is hiring our lead medical advisor, Raquel C. Bono, MD. She is a retired vice admiral from the U.S. Navy and a doctor, and she's been extremely important in helping us create our protocol going forward. And of course, our main concern is the well-being of all of our guests as well as our crew. So we've worked very hard in creating a new protocol that will allow us to start up safely with her advice. We have constant testing going on board our ships. On our ocean-going ships, we've actually created a lab where we're going to be able to do PCR testing, which is a saliva test, every day for crew and guests. River ships will be a little bit different, but we will be in a port pretty regularly, and we will constantly be doing testing. And our goal is to not only to meet the requirements set by governments and cities, but also exceed that. Viking doesn't ever take things lightly. We always look for the best possible solution, no matter what the cost, in order to make sure that everything is done appropriately. I think that's one of the nicest things I've noticed with joining Viking is that they do not skimp corners. I have worked for 4 other brands before Viking, Carnival, Princess, Holland America, and Royal Caribbean. I'm not saying that their protocol is different. It's just that Viking does take a general concern because we are a smaller company, because we're privately held. We're not on the stock market in that regard. So it does have to do with the reputation of our owner and what our guests expect from Viking due to the history that they've had with Viking. So we are looking to have the best practices. I know everybody says that, but I attended a presentation yesterday. There's a lot planned. We will have a lighter load on board our ships. We are prepared in port to work with the local authorities, but we will be ready, we hope, by April 1st. So that's our goal. We'll see as time goes by, as things happen in today's environment, but that's our overall goal of resuming. There's a lot of people that have been waiting for us to come back, and it's just been very odd couple months trying to sell cruises, not knowing exactly when startup will be. But our goal from our owner, he did a presentation, and he did specifically use April 1st as our startup goal. If you'd like more information, I do encourage you to go to the website viking.tv, not .com. .com will bring you to our website. Viking.tv is a collection of Viking inspired information about our shore excursions, information about our cultural enrichment, messages from our crew, recipes. It's very inspirational, and there's live broadcasts there, and we do record them in case you can't make the live broadcast. But you'll find something called Tor's Corner, and Tor's Corner will announce various information, especially in regards to COVID. We want to get this information out from him. We want to get the information out quickly, and it's a great way to reach our travel partners, the travel agents that we work with, as well as our guests that have upcoming cruises, or just people that have general questions about Viking. So Viking.tv, if you want to check it out. Hopefully you'll see something that you'll like. It's very inspirational. We put it together in April. We knew people didn't have a lot to watch on TV because of everything shutting down. And so if you like Viking.tv, almost guaranteed you're going to like cruising with Viking. So please take that moment to check that out. Viking has a wide variety of rivers that we've chosen to cruise upon. It all started in Russia, though. That's where it began in the late 90s. I believe 1997 we first set sail. And we continue to do that itinerary to this day. We have our Waterways of the Tsars itinerary, and it's our longest running itinerary. It was quite a success, and because of the success of that particular itinerary, and with us co-sponsoring Downton Abbey, I'm sure most of you are aware of Downton Abbey. We sponsored them. No one had ever heard of that TV show before. We were asked to sponsor it. And boy, it was the right message to the right people. So the success of Downton Abbey, the success of river cruising really put Viking on the map. A lot of times people call Viking River Cruises, but we have expanded well beyond that. But we remember our roots. We remember how we started. And river cruising started as an alternative to people that had been doing motor coach trips. People were doing coach trips throughout Europe for decades. And the idea was that you go in and you stay at local hotels and you eat at local restaurants and you take in the local culture. But the problem with that was, you're riding on a motor coach throughout the day, and you were having to get on and off the coaches and check in, and also, repack and unpack every time you hit a new city. Tor had the vision to do that by river ship. So we're very fortunate that he saw this opportunity. He also saw that they were opening this canal on the Main River that was going to expand several of the rivers all at once. There was a canal that opened up in the mid-90s. And it really opened up a lot of areas for us to take river ships to. So we are on several rivers now in Central Europe. We are also on, oops, I need to advance here, sorry. I've got two screens going. We are on several different rivers throughout Europe. our mainstays are on the Rhine and the Danube. We have several different itineraries to choose from. The Rhine Getaway, the Romantic Danube, the Danube Waltz. These are tried and true. We have most of our ships operating during the peak season in these itineraries. Also, our Grand European, it's a longer itinerary. And when people come to me and talk to me about river cruising, they a lot of times just think a week because they're not sure if they're going to like it. They're not sure. Maybe they cruised before on an ocean liner and they're not sure what river cruising is all about. But I do say to them most of the time that if they really think they're going to like it, and go to that Viking TV, watch that, and see if you see things on there that really kind of strike you as interesting. Try the 15-day. The Grand European Tour is our longest river itinerary. It's Budapest to Amsterdam or Amsterdam to Budapest. All of these cruises can be done in either direction. It really is up to you which direction you want to start in. It doesn't even matter the day of the week. We have ships starting on all the different days of the week. Sometimes we have a ship leaving Budapest on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday. So really work with your travel advisor on what particular interests you as far as which itinerary is right. No one could really ever say which direction is the one to do for certain because everybody has their favorites. Whether you start in one city and you come in early or you stay in another city and stay late is really your preference. So I can't really tell you one direction is better than others. We definitely we do take this time of year off. We don't cruise January and February and part of March. Our European cruises don't usually start up until about mid-March, and then we run them through the end of the year. The ones that we have towards the end of the year are our Christmas market cruises. Now, if you ever cruised before and you want to try something different, cruising during the Christmas market period is extremely different than cruising in spring or summer. It gets dark early. The weather, it could snow. We still run all the regular aspects of the cruise, all the tours, castles, cathedrals, vineyards we visit as well. But it's wintertime. It gets kind of dreary. It gets snowy. But what people love about them is in the afternoon and evenings, you're able to go to these Christmas markets that the different cities sponsor. And the Christmas markets are special because the artisans create their works throughout the year and then they sell it during the market time. So that's what kind of makes it special. So again, if you have cruised before, consider doing a Christmas markets cruise. It really is quite special. I mentioned Waterways of the Tsars. This is our St. Petersburg to Moscow, our longest running itinerary. We do Paris in the heart of Normandy. 2 years ago was the 75th anniversary of D-Day. We saw huge interest, but it hasn't let up. This particular itinerary is extremely popular for us. It's just that part of the world that people want to see, be able to go to beach, to go to Normandy Beach, and see Dunkirk. That movie Dunkirk definitely helped bring a lot of people to light about this particular destination. Chateaus, rivers, and wine. The name is right there. Wine. This is wine country. If you want to celebrate, if you love wine, this is the itinerary for you. And then of course Portugal's River of Gold, the Douro River. Maybe you've done a different river before. You're considering something different. Porto. There's not as many ships on the Douro River. Porto is an amazing city. It reminds me a lot of Venice. If you've ever been to Venice, the way that the city is kind of terraced into the incline of the river. It's just spectacular. Just the different architecture around every corner. Probably one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to. Haven't cruised from Porto, but our ship was in town, and it took everything for me not to want to hop on there and get on that cruise. I was staying in Lisbon, again, a wonderful city, but Porto is that smaller, you always have these two cities. I guess they compete against each other for tourism. And Porto really surprised me. It was quite spectacular. Just the architecture and the people and the food. Of course, we always strive to do our best, and it's nice to be recognized for it. So I always like to throw in the various awards that we've won throughout the years. It's a very competitive industry in cruising. Everybody wants to strive to do their best, to offer wonderful itineraries, the most amazing food, the best crew members on board. And we're just very proud of the awards that we've won throughout the years. So, this is public information. We're very fortunate. These are people that cruise regularly, and then our travel agent partners, those that sell us, also get asked a lot of times to rate us. So we're very, very happy to show this. My dog's now barking at something. So now the other one's barking. Okay. Okay. You might have to give me 1 second here. Sorry. Excuse me one. Well, I'm glad I warned you. I do apologize for that. Living in a house temporary, there are different little critters out there that kind of show up. I didn't know there were so many deer, but my dog seemed to always find the deer coming around. So back to Viking here. The reason for Viking success is because of these key components. We definitely are destination focused. It's all about the ports of call that we visit. We try to be very port intensive. It's very easy on rivers to be port intensive, but uh, uh, ocean cruises, we are definitely all about being port focused. Culturally enriching. We want people to get into the port, take part in the art, the literature, the language, the food, the fashion, the beer, the wine. We want people to be able to experience the port and feel like they've learned something and experienced something. And there's time for shopping. Don't get me wrong. There's time for other activities. We have actually shore excursions that are quite strenuous. You can go paddle boarding, you can go canoeing or kayaking, but we really want you to feel like you've been enriched in these cities that we're visiting. And of course, carefully curated. Nothing happens by accident. It's all purposely planned, and it takes a lot of relations and negotiations as we come into a city to make sure that operations go perfectly. So we have the experience to make sure that it's all curated and things go smoothly. So with our history in river cruising, that's important. So because we started out small, we realized we couldn't be something for everyone. We really focused from the very beginning in those Russia cruises that we started on English-speaking mature couples with curious minds with an interest in history, culture, and geography. I like to break that down in the fact that English speaking, about 85 to 90% of our business comes from the US and Canada. We don't do a lot of international marketing. Mature couples, typically our age range averages from about 60 to 65. And then curious minds or interesting history, culture, and geography. Again, it's all about the ports. We know we've got wonderful ships and hardware. We've got excellent food, chefs on board, but really we know people are coming in to experience what the ports of calls have to offer. So we are destination oriented. We're a very inclusive brand, but not all inclusive. It's important to mention there's 2 items of a personal nature, and that's tipping and alcoholic beverages. Tipping is a suggested amount. You could find that in our brochure, and you could prepay it. You could do it even before you leave. You could wait till you get on board the ship and do it on your account. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way, where you just hand the favorite person an envelope with some cash in it. It's really up to you. And then alcoholic beverages, we do include beer, wine, soft drinks, coffees, and teas, mochas, cappuccinos. Those are all included. If you want a cocktail and it's in between hours, it is a la carte. So it is by the glass. One of the best ways to not have to worry about it at all is buying the Silver Spirits beverage package. It's one of the best priced out beverage packages. If anybody's cruised before, there's all kinds of different beverage packages the cruise lines offer. I think ours runs about $20 per person per day. Very, very affordable. Most of our cruisers are teetotalers, so they just want that ease. They don't want to have to worry about a bill at the end. It's just easier to buy the Silver Spirits beverage package. Talk to your travel agent, travel partner. They can price it out. It does vary by the itinerary's length. And of course, we're a very efficient operator. We try to pass savings back where we can. I think one of the most popular ways of saving a little bit extra on a cruise is by not using a credit card to pay for it. You can actually do a bank transfer right from a checking account to the reservation. It's a secure transaction. And normally the money we would be paying to a credit card company, we pass back to you. So check with your travel advisor. There's a price based on a credit card. There's a price based on the bank transfer, and it's going to save you some money that way. You have to decide if you want the miles on your credit card or not. You know, there's a lot of times people are just using that credit card for miles or points. And of course, we've got great staff working for us. I mentioned this earlier that it is a factor. It does make a difference. A happy crew member translates to a happy guest experience. So it's a combination of things. It's itineraries, it's crew, it's food, it's what you do in the port of call that really matters. So we do make it easy for you to understand. Definitely work with your travel partner. Our brochures are handy. If you head to our website, now that's Viking.com, you can click on an itinerary, you can click on a port within that itinerary, and you can watch a short filmography regarding what there is to do in that city, what foods you should try, what's the must-see, must-do in that particular region that you're cruising in. So make sure you check that out. Language lessons or actually recipes as well. Maybe you want to try some particular cuisine before you actually head to that city to try the real version of it. But check it out. All your activities on board the ship, we have a shore excursion in every port, and then we bring in a lot of entertainment from the ports of call as well. And then we're small, only 190 guests on average for our cruises. Actually, we're going to probably shorten that a little bit. We're actually going to free up some cabins due to requirements regarding startup again. We'll make some announcements about that. But 190 people on average, 2 people per cabin. Very easy to meet new friends and make lifelong friendships along the way. The camaraderie builds almost immediately on board a cruise of our size. Those that have cruised before tend to just have that personality where they know the crew members, they bring other people in, they meet people on shore excursions, they meet people while they're dining. A really, really fun aspect of being on river ships in particular is that camaraderie, that the people introduce one another to each other, and it's a lot of fun. We just celebrated our 24th year in the travel industry. So it's tried and true. We have a lot of past cruisers that have rated us very highly, that come back to us again and again. The ships are intimate and elegant. Tor, our owner, had the idea to long-term lease or to purchase certain docking areas. So we actually pulled it into the heart of the destination. You can step off the ship and you step into the lives of the people from that region. And we'll see this in just a bit when we talk about shore excursions. But we want you to be able to come into the city and feel like you're waking up in that city and you're living in that region and seeing what those people's lives are like. So definitely the heart of the destination. It's always a quick walk to the sites that you want to see. The ships are innovative. Certain little things like what we're looking at here, the front of the ship has a restaurant in the front. A lot of other cruise lines have just used that for storage. And we actually created a wonderful alfresco dining area that you could head out to called the Aquavit Terrace. And it is protected by glass walls. We'll see a picture of it in just a bit. But it's innovative because Tor actually patented it. And that's why you don't see it on other cruise brands. He was able to patent that idea. And it just is a nice area to head out to when the weather's cooperating. And food. It is all about the journey. It is all about eating the local cuisine that's representative of the area that we're cruising in. Again, river cruising started as a way of kind of solving what people were doing on motor coach trips. They were going in and seeing these towns and cities and eating at local restaurants. So we wanted food to be representative of that journey as well on the ships. So it's regional cuisine, it's regional recipes. They'll go into port and buy certain items for the ship. We have a lot of great events as well. There's a lot of taste of events where we feature um, wine tasting. Everybody knows that. Cheese tasting. But we do cognac tasting, vodka tasting, mustard tasting, vinegar tasting is such a thing. And you have fun. You learn from the experts, and you have a chance to have fun with your fellow cruisers as well. And impeccable service. We take our jobs very, very serious. Our crew members are gracious, attentive, humble. But we leave it up to our guests to decide what they want to wear. There's no one telling you what to wear to dinner. We figure that people know exactly what to wear. Very, very comfortable and casual. A collared shirt maybe for a gentleman, a pair of khaki pants, even a very nice pair of denim could be worn in the dining room. Most people know what to wear. Most people transition throughout the day. They'll get up, they'll head off, they'll do shore excursions, they'll come back to the ship. They'll wear that same outfit all day long. They might freshen it up a bit, but the nice thing about river cruising is it is casual. So you don't have to pack a lot. There's no ball gowns, there's no tuxedos, there's no ties. Very, very comfortable what people wear on board the ships. We are an employer of choice. We get a lot of crew that comes back again and again to work for us. Uh, One of the nicest things about that is our ships are identical. So if you are on the Douro one year and you decide to go on the Seine another year, or you go on the Danube, the ships are identical, and the people that work on board, they know their job from the day they get on. And it's a very small number of staff on board. You're looking at about 50 people, from the people in the galley, the people up in the hotel part of the ship, the people in the engine room. That's about 50 people. So they have to wear several different hats. They have to be able to work well with others. They have to work long hours. It's tough to work on a cruise ship. And we feel that the better you treat a crew member, it does translate to how they are interacting with the guests. And our surveys show that a happy crew member equals a happy guest experience. And just something that I learned the other day was that when we were supposed to start up in March, we had contracts with all of our employees to start up, and we'd hoped that 2020 would have eventually produced a cruise. There wasn't anything after March. We paid all of our crew members their contracts. We know that when they come back, that will make a difference in how they regard Viking and how they treat our guests. Again, a happy crew member equals a happy guest experience. So we're very, very proud of the fact of how well we take care of our crew and how well they take care of our guests. We do have a service guarantee. So if you've ever thought about trying a cruise and you weren't sure, the service guarantee will help you, because if something's not right, if something's not according to what you thought it was going to be, it's not perfect, and it's not a perfect world out there. We strive for perfection, but it's not a perfect world. Let us know. We ask that input from our guests to let us know about their experience. If there's something on board that's not right, we ask that you bring it up to our front desk, and then we ask for 24 hours to rectify the situation. If we can't rectify the situation, that guest can actually opt to get off the ship and receive a refund. We're that certain that we can solve things that might not be right. We want to make it right. We just need to know what motivates you, what we need to fix that you've discovered. So let us know. That's part of being in the hospitality industry. Part of our program is our onboard enrichment. So we do have a shore excursion offered in every port. We have lecturers come on board. We bring in the regional wines and local cuisine, a lot of port talks. Our crew has been to these ports year after year after year, and a lot of times they're from the countries and towns that we visit. They're a wealth of information to share with you regarding your journey. So ask them questions. All of the management on board is available to talk to as well about the particular itinerary. If there's something that you don't see offered, let us know. We have the ability to call the port agent, set up things. We've probably been asked this question before, so just ask us if there's something that in particular that you want to check out that you don't see as offered on Viking's schedule. And we're going to talk about our shore excursions in just a bit here. We do offer variety of choices. So that morning shore excursion is included. Everybody, about 95% of the people on board the ship take part in it. There's a lot of fun. You get to meet your fellow cruisers that way. And generally, you're back to the ship in the afternoon. We break the groups into smaller numbers, generally 20 people, maybe 25 people. We go by mobility. We try to put the fast walkers with the other fast walkers. We don't want anybody feeling like they're holding up anybody. So we break people down into small groups. If you feel like you want a different group, let the cruise director know, and they can work with you on that. In the afternoon, we do offer optional shore excursions. So we've got a couple different choices. Local life gives you a chance to see and experience what the locals do with their spare time. A good example might be in Budapest. You might go to the thermal spas. There's more thermal spas in Budapest than any other capital in the world. And the water differs by spas. And it's a very social thing to go to the spas. We'll get you set up on board the ship. We'll talk to you about the program and the protocol that you go through as far as checking in and such. But it's a neat way to see what they do with their free time. That's just an example. We do all different kinds of sorts of other types as well. You might go to a local family's home and see what their home life is like. Working World gives you a chance to see a particular aspect of that region. There might be an industry that area is known for. A good example is in Kinderdijk, right outside of Amsterdam. We offer a chance to go to a working farm to see and meet the cows and see how Gouda cheese is made. It's fascinating. It's a family-run farm. The best part is when you get to do the cheese tasting at the end and learn. And you got to meet all the cows. It was really a interesting experience. Another tour, we took people to go see a Mercedes-Benz factory and see how the Mercedes-Benz are built. So you're going to learn something about that region. You might go to a vineyard or a winery and learn about how wine is made. Our last type, and again, these are available in every single port we go to, different varieties, is privileged access. These are done in incredibly small numbers, and you're going to say you got to do something that not everybody does. You get to visit or experience something on a very small group setting, maybe about a dozen people. A great example of this is to go see the Vienna Boys Choir. People have definitely seen the Vienna Boys Choir around the globe. There's one group. They don't have different traveling versions. It's pretty much just one Vienna Boys Choir. And you're going to go in and see a private concert from them and be able to ask them questions and find out what their lives are like. Very, very special having a small concert with that number. Again, they're used to performing in concert halls throughout the world. You're going to see what it's like to be a 11 to 14-year-old boy with this gift of this beautiful voice. And it is stunning when the composer, the maestro, puts their voices together and they harmonize. They're squirming around, little young men, but when they know that it's time to perform, they're just amazing. So we are at incredible value as far as cruising goes because of so much that's included. That shore excursion, your meals are being authentic to the region. You have open seating, beer, wine, soft drinks, specialty coffees and teas are included. You're not going to feel like you're constantly having to pull out your wallet and pay extra for something. And that's what our guests appreciate. Bottled water, staying hydrated is very important while you're traveling on your coaches, while you're on shore excursions, when you're on board the ship. Free Wi-Fi so you can stay in touch, and hopefully you're uploading some great pictures to your family and friends so they see what kind of time you're having on board. First class hotels, if you're coming in early or staying late, we have great hotels that we work with if you want to extend your vacation. In-room infotainment, movies, they're from the region that we're cruising in. They're also news stations, and our government fees and taxes are all included in the price. A lot of times a cruise line will entice you with a price, and then they'll say, well, now that you're interested, you need to pay this extra amount for government fees and taxes. And we don't do that. Our price is just one price. It's very simple. Our travel partners that work with us, our travel agent friends, like that. Very, very simple pricing, how it goes. Why complicate things? You're going to have to pay it. We just put it in the price of the cruise. So you don't have that second surprise sticker amount coming to you. Let's talk a little bit about certain itineraries. The chance of cruising on the rivers gives you the ability to go see these amazing cities that you can't see by ocean ship. These are specific European cities and towns that were built along the rivers. A good example is Paris or Vienna or Budapest. Uh, there's no way to see these unless you go by river. And specifically, Paris. We actually had a cruise that left from a little suburb of Paris called Le Pec. It was outside of Paris. If you squinted, you could see the Eiffel Tower, but Le Pec is not Paris. And we got reviews from our guests. The reason why we couldn't get to Paris was because there was another set of canals and locks we had to get through to get that close to the Eiffel Tower. Our ships were just a little bit too long. We just came out with a new series of ships. They were just delivered to the Seine. They can fit through the canals that take the ships up to the Eiffel Tower. So you'll leave right from underneath the Eiffel Tower. That's what you expect if you're leaving on a Paris trip. You should be leaving within sight of the Eiffel Tower. Now we have that ability. Now, another reason why cruising is so popular is the fact it's just convenient, and I can't stress enough. Chances are, if you've cruised before, you probably already know this. But if you haven't, the nice thing is you get on board the ship, you unpack once, and you can enjoy these amazing views from your cabin. All of the ship's cabins have these stellar views. Now, this is our most popular cabin category right here. This is our veranda cabin. You can actually step out on your balcony and enjoy a beautiful view, glass of wine, cup of coffee. There are other accommodations. There are some that just have a picture window. You will have a view of the river. It's not quite like this. This is kind of the ultimate what people are looking for, but that's what people like about the convenience and the little creature comforts in the cabins, the heated bathroom floors, the heated towel racks, the fogless mirror. You step out of the shower, you can use the mirror immediately in the bathroom. Those little extra touches people like. A new port every day. River cruising. We're very fortunate that these towns are very close to one another. We do our travel at night. You wake up in a new city each day, being able to take into these ports, the towns, the castles, the vineyards. They're never too far away. Beautiful birth areas where we birth the ship, and just a stroll to seeing all the sights that you've come to expect. We had all those great cruises for advertising on Downton Abbey. It is exactly what you see as you're cruising these rivers and moving your way through the different rivers. The culture, the history throughout the journey. Many of the cities that we visit have UNESCO World Heritage sites designated. So pretty much, I can't think of an itinerary that doesn't have at least one UNESCO World Heritage site. Again, it's all about the cultural enrichment, getting in there, food, fashion, wine, language, architecture, geography, beer, wine. I think I mentioned those before, but it really is your chance to immerse yourself and to take part in that part of your journey. Also, it's an intimate experience because you're going to be on board with a small number of guests. You're going to be able to get to know your fellow cruisers easily. Our crew makes it very easy for you to meet people. We will introduce you in the dining room. It's just our part of hospitality. When you travel with us, you're not so much, you're not treated like royalty. I know that sounds really funny to say. You're treated as a friend. You're a friend visiting, and the host of the ship is introducing you to their other friends. So it's very, very easy to meet new people along the way. Also, we make it convenient for you to learn while you're out on the excursions. We'll always have an English-speaking guide. We do have headsets that you wear so you can listen to the guide, and maybe you're a little bit of a wanderer or you're a person that likes to take pictures. You can listen to the guide. Very, very experienced guides. These people have degrees in travel and tourism. They're not some college student that we hired just to, be a bus guide and make sure that they don't lose anybody. These people are highly educated in their towns. They're from these towns and cities, and they're they take the pride in wanting you to learn about the region that they're from. Um, Food, well, that goes without saying. It's all about fresh, fair, local ingredients. You're going to be trying things that maybe you haven't tried before. If you don't like it, we do have American classics on board, and we try to take care of a lot of dietary needs. So don't let something, if there's something that you don't find enticing on board, just let us know. We can take care of it. We can take care of most dietary needs. Just let us know ahead of time. And you can move around the dining room as well. You don't have to stay in one particular area. So if you happen to have a different waiter over one night over the other, that's fine, because our waiters will share the information with one another. So feel free to dine around. And I'm not sure, that might be some new protocol that we have in the new era of cruising. I didn't hear about it, but I'd imagine that we still want people to get around and meet one another, but we have to do it safely. So again, a lot of that will be coming out as we start up cruising. And of course, we want entertainment to complement the journey. It's all about bringing on singers, dancers, musicians from the port of call that we're visiting, lectures that come on board, people that live around the globe that are lived extraordinary lives. We invite them on board the ships to share their experience with our guests. So very, very easy. We do it generally in the afternoon or evening, and you have a chance to gain some perspective about the history and the culture and the what it's like to be a person from this particular area in this point in time, or to learn a little bit about the history of these ports of calls we visit. Just going to go over a couple itineraries. Now, again, people look for different things in their vacation. The Rhine getaway. I'm just going to come up with a simple explanation of each. The Rhine getaway is castles. If you've ever wanted to see castles, this is the itinerary for you. Amsterdam to Basel, Amsterdam, Netherlands to Basel, Switzerland. Grand European tour. Again, it's our longest. Could be intimidating if you haven't done a cruise before, but it has everything. World War II history, wine region, cathedrals and castles. You're going to go on 3 different rivers, so you're going to see quite a bit. You begin in spectacular Amsterdam, or you begin in spectacular Budapest. Crazy, beautiful cities with lots to explore. The one thing that I hear about people when they do this itinerary is they can't believe how quickly 15 days went. So I know if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, 15 days is a lot of time to commit to something, generally that's what people answer, is that it just scooted by extremely fast. Romantic Danube, that is basically the area that the Romans explored. A lot of the cities that we visit on this itinerary were developed by the Romans, so that's why we call it the Romantic Danube. In France, we've got the wine lovers. Pretty much every one of these itineraries has some sort of wine experience that you'll be able to take part in. So if you do like wine, or you would like to learn more about wine, this is the region that you'd want to be cruising in. Chateaux, rivers, and wine in Bordeaux, Lyon and Provence, Paris to the Swiss Alps, cities of light, Paris to Prague. And then we put in there also Lisbon to Porto. That actually begins with a land package for 2 nights in Lisbon, and then you're transferred up to Porto to do the cruise portion of it. So you get to see both cities. And as I mentioned, they both kind of compare each other to the other one. They're about 3 hours drive between the 2 cities, but it seems like Porto's a little bit smaller, and it seems like it's always trying to tell everybody that they're more important than Lisbon, but then everybody in Lisbon says the other their side of things. But very, very beautiful to visit both parts of Portugal. For those that are interested in history, again, Paris in the heart of Normandy, the Grand European Tour. This is mentioned twice because it's got that World War II history. Also has the oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I think it's Regensburg is where they did the Nazi war trials. I'm pretty certain. I'm drawing a blank on that one, but definitely World War II history on the Grand European Tour. Passage to Eastern Europe. Now, maybe you've done a river cruise before and you're looking for something completely different. Now, this is what I consider the darker side of the Danube. This was the part of the Danube that was definitely behind the Iron Curtain for quite a while. And these cities are starting to emerge, but they definitely still hold on to that history, that past. So a little bit lesser known cities than most people are accustomed to. Most people know, Cologne, they know Vienna, Budapest. They know those cities. Those are regular cities that are visited by riverboat companies. But this particular itinerary is off the beaten path. We don't have as many ships on this particular itinerary. It's kind of an upcoming itinerary. So there's less inventory on it. So if you do see that there's the prices might be different because it's an 11-day cruise, and then oftentimes they've done very, very well as far as sales go. So if you are interested, make sure you book this one early. The Danube, again, such a beautiful place to begin your cruise. You've got the Chain Bridge, the Parliament building. It's just a wealth of information, a wealth of city to explore. There's just something around every corner, extremely friendly people. A beautiful Jewish synagogue to explore, the art, the food. You definitely want to try the goulash while you're there. Going back to Viking.com, you could actually get a goulash recipe from Viking.com in case you want to try the goulash before you head out there. They love paprika in Budapest. So beautiful city on both sides of the river. The Danube, they say, if you're on the Danube and you see the Danube is blue, you're in love. So hopefully, if you cruise with us, you look out, you see it just as it is right there. If it's silver, well, you're probably still in love, but look a little harder, and it hopefully will be blue. The Rhine, again, the Rhine is our castle region. So if you wanted to take part in visiting those fairy tale cabins, fairy tale castles, the cultural centers from history, this particular itinerary is the right river for you. The Main River. The Main River takes us back. It's a very windy and twisty river that connects the Main to the Rhine. It's a very leisurely pace that takes you through the different scenic landscapes. It's one of our lesser known rivers, but it's definitely a beautiful, twisty, cultural river to explore. The Elbe River. Now, this was part of a symbol of unity. This was actually part of the East Germany area, and when it became free, many of these towns along the river were in rubble, and now they stand tall. And you have a chance to see like the seldom viewed cities of Germany and the Czech Republic. So if you're looking again for something a little bit different, maybe you've done the Danube before, or you've done the Rhine, try this river because you're going to see a different perspective of the history of the river. Again, the part of East Germany's past. The Rhone. This particular area is very well known for visiting Bordeaux, Lyon, Normandy, picturesque Provence, and elegant Paris. So if you are looking for that typical French experience, try our rivers in France. They're going to get you into these little ports of call that aren't as well known as visited. Again, these tend to take a little bit smaller ships on these itineraries. Our regular 190 guests, they are a little bit smaller in this region. We just don't have as much inventory doing the French rivers. But again, beautiful places. It's all about the wine as well. The Douro River. The Douro River was filled with beautiful scenic wine region as you cruise through this particular region of the Douro River. So this particular route was, I'm trying to remember, how they described it, the age of discovery. So there's a lot of monuments. There's a lot of buildings that were created during that part of Portugal's history. And it pays homage to that as you visit all the different towns on the Douro River. Our longship is our prototype ship pretty much for all of our itineraries. It works really well for us. Again, there's some that are a little bit longer or shorter, but this is our main designed ship. You've got the restaurant in the front, the Aquavit Terrace. One deck below has the restaurant, one deck above has our bar and lounge. This particular side of the ship we're looking at has all the balcony cabins. So if you're looking to head out on a morning and have a cup of coffee or have a glass of wine in the afternoon, go off on your balcony. On the other side of the ship, you would find the French balcony cabins, and these have a sliding door. You can still open it and get some fresh air. You just don't have a balcony so much to step out on. You can put your elbows on there and you can kind of feel like you're out on the balcony, but it's not like a true where you could step outside balcony. Our two bigger cabins are in the back, our Explorer Suites. We'll see a couple pictures of those in just a minute. But all of our cabins are just double occupancy, 190 guests, 95 cabins, 4 decks to explore, extremely easy to find your way around on our river ships. Scandinavian feel to them, very understated, a lot of light coming in. The Scandinavian region is much like where I'm from, the Pacific Northwest, where long, dark winters, gets dark very early. And their way to counterbalance that is to have a lot of light coming into their home. So you'll find where they can put windows with light coming in. They also have that expression called bringing the timber inside, and that's bringing nature indoors. So wherever we could add a natural element, bring in natural fabrics, we could bring in flowers. We do that on board our ships. It's all about understated elegance. There's a term in the Scandinavian culture called, and I'm going to mess it up here because I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. I need to find out exactly how to pronounce it, but it's called huga or huga. And it's a feeling of coziness and comfort and security and warmth. And a lot of people are designing their houses with that aesthetic now, but we've always had that on board our ships. We want that very welcoming, comfortable feeling when you come on board the ships. Again, they're very quiet, relaxing. That's what it's all about, is unwinding and relaxing and meeting new people and experiencing wonderful new ports of call. Our front desk, this is where you'll go if you have questions. This is where you'll gather before you leave or as you enter the ship. It's kind of the hub of where people come on board. It's where you'll meet your friends as you're heading out for the day. Our bar, we are open late. We don't roll up the carpet at night. If you'd like to stay up after dinner and have a cocktail and visit with friends and listen to light music or go to a entertaining event that we have up there, a production of a local singer, a dancer, musician. They perform up here, but we have a onboard band playing music, danceable lounge music. It's a lot of fun. If you are a late night, if you're a night owl, we stay open late. We don't close up, but remember that everything you did that day, you're going to be doing again the very next day. So pace yourselves. But you don't have to you don't have to wake up the next morning and do anything. You're on vacation, but chances are you're going to want to get off and explore. Our lounge, again, there's the piano playing music, and we gather here for shore talks and embarkation information. You can see a little bit of the dance floor, so you can enjoy some dancing in the evening. Just a relaxing ability to just discover new friends and enjoy company of others, all the while with beautiful scenery surrounding you. This is our Aquavit Terrace where you can head out for breakfast and lunch. Sometimes it's open for dinner, not often, but generally our main dining room is the most popular area to dine for dinner. But you can be out here and the wind doesn't bother you because you've got that protective glass there. So even if we're cruising, no wind will be bothering you. But al fresco dining is what it's all about, getting out there and seeing all the aspects of the river, sitting out there with a cup of coffee and taking in the sights in the morning. We have a library should you want to do more research on the ports. If you want to check out a library book or a game, you can do that there as well. We keep it very well stocked. Our jogging track. We don't have a gym on board river ships, but if you are active and going around on these shore excursions, chances are you're burning off a lot of calories. But if you feel like you haven't, you can go around the top deck here a number of times and burn off some calories. Don't bother keeping track. You've got beautiful scenery on both sides of you. Just keep wandering and taking it all in. Trust me, take the stairs, um, keep walking, and you're going to burn off those calories. So yeah, calories on cruise ships don't count. That they don't count. We'll just finish off here with our staterooms. I mentioned that there's a couple different classes of staterooms to choose from, but all of them have the same features. A lot of little comforts to them, great storage, closets, drawer space, heated bathroom floors, heated towel racks, fogless mirrors. This is our minimum accommodations. It is the lowest deck. It doesn't have elevator access. You do have to go down a staircase to get here, but you are a little bit at water level here. So you could look out the window and see the river, but you might be eyeball to eyeball with the river. There might be a duck going by or a swan. You could wave at the swan going by. But it is our more minimal accommodations. It's our lead price. Whenever you see a price advertised, generally it's this cabin category. To get the interest, we like to advertise at the lowest price. Still great square footage, twin beds that can convert to a king size bed, all those amenities I mentioned in the bathroom. Our French balcony, you can get to that door, you can open the slider, put your elbows on that railing. That's about it. You can definitely look out as you're laying in bed through the glass partition. This is a very popular cabin because people want to have that glass, to look out through the window there. But you don't get that ability to step outside. So this is what we have mostly in our inventory. This is our veranda stateroom, 2 decks of this particular cabin. You've got that outside space to enjoy. And I always like to point out that that bottle of wine wasn't left there by accident. If you happen to be in port, you're at a winery, you're at a vineyard, you're at a pub, there's a specialty liqueur that's in that area, go ahead and buy it. You do not have to sneak it on board the ship. We know you're buying it. It's okay. You don't have to tell us it's olive oil. It's fine. Bring it on board. You can drink it in the cabin. You can drink it in the public rooms. You can bring it to dinner. We've got great beer and wine on board the ship. It's regional quality beer and wine. But if you find something that you love, that you want to share, that's what Viking is all about. That's what the experience is all about, is finding something that you love, that you want to bring back to the ship and share with other people. And do so. We encourage that. So that's why that bottle's out there. Again, just enjoy and bring it back to the ship. On the side of the ship that has the French balcony, when we saw that long shot of the ship, that was all the balconies. On the other side of the ship is the French balcony cabins, that railing. But there are also a couple of our veranda suites. These are turned rectangularly, so they're long and slender, but they allow for us to have a 2-room suite. And one part of the cabin, the bedroom area, has a French balcony, and the living room has a full walkout balcony. So if you're looking for extra square footage, there's only about 7 of these on average on the ships. It is nice to have the 2-room suite experience. Our cabins are well appointed. You're going to be busy, but it is nice to have that little bit of extra space while you're cruising. And if you're looking for the ultimate, our Explorer suites have 445 square feet, a big living room, a nice wraparound balcony. The balcony goes from the side of the ship to the stern of the ship. We don't feel that there's any motion back there, so our 2 more expensive cabins are back there. You don't feel the engine or the propellers. A lot of times we're using our hybrid engines to move around from one city to the other. And again, that's usually at night. So our more expensive cabins are in the back of the ship. A chance to meet and mix and mingle. This is a nice shot of people enjoying a meal. And again, it is all about the regional quality food. Another shot of the dining room. Now, I imagine I heard that we have reconfigured the dining room to add for social distancing. It's probably a different configuration than this, but it's again all about meeting others, and we have a very conducive way of doing that through dining. You'll have a chance to sit at different tables if you'd like. If you're a creature of habit and you like the same table, do not worry. Generally, the staff on board can take care of that if you happen to have a particular area of the dining room that you want to dine in. And again, we have these wonderful fun events, these taste of events. This is our German night. That charcuterie tray, as well as that pretzel, is looking pretty good for me right about now because it's almost dinner time for me. And just our high tea in the afternoon. We have a tea service up in the Aquavit Terrace. So our guests love that. Again, very social, visiting with one another. And I just want to thank you. I did it just about an hour. I appreciate everybody staying with me throughout the presentation and listening to my dogs bark. I do appreciate you coming to learn about our ships of Europe. I want to thank you for coming. And if you are interested in booking for the next 2 weeks, we are offering an onboard credit if you book through Allied Travel Services. So just ask. It'll happen automatically to your booking as long as it's made within the next 2 weeks. We do have availability all the way open till 2023. So if 2021, people are a little leery about when we're going to start. Again, we're shooting for April 1st, but we'll have to see as time tells us what's going on with the world situation. But if you want to push it out further, the vaccine is headed out there. There's going to be cruising again, but if you want to wait till 2022 or 2023, the onboard credit is available for those cruises as well. And I was alerted that you want to make sure that you print out the virtual passport from Allied Travel's website. And I know a lot of you are attending different travel talks, and you have a chance to win the Allied Travel gift certificate. And I believe you have to have a password. And so tonight's password is longboat. So you make sure you put that on the certificate or on the passport that you print out so you get credit for attending tonight's presentation. And I just want to say thank you for those of you that have cruised before with us. Please consider coming back and cruising with us. And those that are new to cruising, I hope that you saw information in here that inspired you to start thinking of a vacation and planning and using the services of Allied Travel Service. And I know there's some questions. I'm a one-person operation here, so I will answer questions afterwards. But if you do disconnect, I don't have a way of communicating with you. So I will finish off and then go to the question section and answer any questions that people had. If you did have to disconnect, make sure that you reach out to your favorite travel advisor at Allied Travel, and they can probably answer the questions or ask me the question, and I'll get them the answer. So have a great afternoon. Have a great evening, everyone. I do appreciate your time today. And please, if you are interested, make your reservation within the next 2 weeks. Thank you. No, come over here.